Enoch's Ascension into Heaven, the Book of Enoch, chapter 70 and chapter 71. Before we begin this study, I would ask that you watch my video called Enoch was translated, Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 5. So reading now from the Book of Enoch, chapter 70, and it came to pass after this, that his name during his lifetime was raised aloft to that Son of Man, and to the Lord of Spirits, from amongst those who dwell on the earth. And he was raised aloft on the chariots of the Spirit, and his name vanished among them. And from that day I was no longer numbered amongst them, and he set me between the two winds, between the north and the west, where the angels measured for me the place for the elect and righteous. And there I saw the first fathers and the righteous who from the beginning dwell in that place. Reading from the Book of Enoch, chapter 71. Afterwards my spirit was concealed, ascending into the heavens. I beheld the sons of the holy angels treading on flaming fire, whose garments and robes were white, and whose countenances were transparent as crystal. The meaning of Enoch. Enoch means founder, teacher, instructor, one trained up, inaugurated, that is, dedicated, initiated. Enoch was the man who walked with God and was translated so as not to see death, but that does not mean that he did not die. See Hebrews chapter 11 and verse 5. Enoch is symbolic of that which each of us can become, and for which all humanity was destined from the very beginning. The name Enoch means founder or instructor. Enoch walked with God. He was translated into the spiritual consciousness. Enoch represents the gateway into and instruction in the new life in Christ. In the Book of Enoch, we should understand Enoch's ascension into heaven as a state of peace and harmony, which is symbolized by heaven. Enoch is the gateway into and instruction in a new state of thought or understanding. In the case of Enoch, who walked with God, the new state of thought would be spiritual consciousness, the new life in Christ. Abel, Enoch, Noah, and Abraham are representative states or conditions that are higher in the scale than the purely carnal or fleshly. By faith they all made connection with the abiding realities of the gospel. Enoch symbolizes the highest or climactic point of the ascent for which man is destined to strive, and in this refined image perfect man is superior to the angels. Ascension, the ascending or progressive unfoldment of a believer from the carnal to the spiritual. It is measured by 3 degrees or states of consciousness. First, the carnal; second, the mental; and third, the spiritual. Enoch first manifested himself as the man on the physical plane, from which he was translated to the mental. From hence he ascended to the spiritual. The ascension is the final step in the attainment of the Christ consciousness. So in the Book of Enoch, why was he taken up by a whirlwind into heaven? The ascension of Enoch was a precursor of the experience that Jesus went through when at the ascension he was taken up in a cloud. Enoch was taken by a whirlwind into heaven. That is, the positive or dominant element of the mind of Enoch must be taken by Yahweh into a state of peace and harmony, which is symbolized by heaven. So what is the meaning of the taking of Enoch into heaven in the chariot of spirit? It represents a change that takes place in consciousness. The carnal mind of Enoch is lifted up in spirit. The place for the elect and righteous is the spiritual consciousness, which is symbolized by heaven.